The question is, who actually cares if there's one God or if there are multiple gods? What is it, a numbers game? So Abraham comes along and he says, you have it all wrong. He gets up there, and I'm from Atlanta, so he says, y'all have it wrong, or all y'all have it wrong. There aren't 1,000 gods, there's one God, and everyone's blown away. Wow, we never saw this before. Come on. Really? That's the innovation? It's a numbers game. He's reductionary. He's like, we're going to take God and reduce God down to one, and that's going to blow everyone's mind and change everything. What does that actually change? I'm still praying to some sort of invisible deity. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's 2 or 5 or 200 or 1. What does it really matter? So there are different ways to understand this question. One way we might understand the advantage or the innovation of monotheism is that it introduces the notion that what I do absolutely matters because there's a singular focus within all of existence. As opposed to saying in the previous view that there are multiple forces and therefore multiple energies that are at the source of all there is. And so therefore there are multiple paths or multiple avenues. This is consolidating, if you will, into one focus, into one deity that says, this is why you're here. You're here for me. You're here to do my purpose, my master plan, and it's focused. So as opposed to a person being distracted and feeling pulled in different directions, what's my purpose? Am I meant to do this, that, or the other? The notion of monotheism tells us that at its core, there's oneness. There's oneness, which means there's one purpose of being. There's one focus of being, and therefore, as long as I can align myself with that purpose, I'll be walking a good path. Now, that's not to say that we go through life with such clarity, but we're striving for such clarity, knowing that there's oneness. I'll share with you what I believe is another advantage of monotheism as opposed to polytheism. Like, what's the big deal? One God, multiple gods. So what it comes down to is also, in whom do you trust? Is there one rock in your life, one immovable force, absolute in your life, that you can rely on? You know, if you give a project, for example, if you give a project to 2 people and you say you're both in charge, guess what? No one's going to get it done. If you have 2 captains of a ship, the ship's going down. That's the way it is. So in order to really trust, to really rely on someone else, it's got to be one. You have to have one person at the helm. That's what their human experience is. And we might apply the same truth to our relationship with God and to the innovation of monotheism. What Abraham does is Abraham says, the world says that there are multiple forces. Multiple forces means that my attention is distracted, number one. And number two, who am I really relying on at the end of the day? Monotheism tells us that there's one force, there's one God to rely on. There's one creator, there's one visionary, there's one source, there's one everything. And now I can rest a little bit more assured, recognizing where my security lies. There's an incredible benefit to the notion of monotheism. We live very distracted and complicated lives. And sometimes our lives can feel completely split. It may feel like we're living a double life. So we wake up in the morning and we go to work, and then we have physical needs that we have, and we have familial family needs, we have spiritual needs, and it may feel like our lives are being pulled in so many different directions. And for a person who's sensitive, a person may feel like they're being schlepped and pulled in different directions, and it hurts. It hurts. You know, if a person's spine is out of alignment, they're usually in physical pain. If the spine is not in a singular focused line, if it's going one way and then the other way and then the other way, it's usually a sign that that person is going to be experiencing some tremendous pain, God forbid. And the same thing is true in our lives. We live fragmented lives, and therefore it's no wonder that many of us feel pain in our lives in whatever way, certainly in the form of tension. One incredible benefit of monotheism and monotheistic belief is the notion that despite all the diversity, there's oneness flowing through it all. There's oneness, one source and one purpose flowing through every atom, every molecule of existence. And therefore, if I look hard enough, and if I look deep enough, and if I align myself with this message, I can discover unity in my life no matter what I'm doing. So when I go to work, when I tend to my physical needs, when I spend time with family, when I go to synagogue, when I do a mitzvah, when I study Torah, although these may seem like completely different activities, fueled by the notion of monotheism, they can be seen as flowing down the same path with a singular thread running through it all. You see, these are all activities that are part of our task, coming from the singular God, to make this world a better place, to make the physical environment that we're in a place for God. And that's done by going to work, tending to our needs, spending time with family, and of course, tending to our spiritual and religious obligations. And so when the notion of monotheism reminds us and really teaches us that we can find oneness within the diversity. We can find an anchor, a singular anchor, and a singular focal point within all of the things that we're doing. And this can be tremendously soothing to the modern heart and to the modern mind that is being pulled otherwise in so many different directions.
If you like that video, hit the subscribe button and notification bell below for hours of the best Jewish content online.